Hello and good day, Mike Adcock with an update on Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda in the South China Sea. This briefing is based on the 9 Zulu JMA advisory from the 10th of November. Real quick, we want to touch on the recovery efforts going on in the Philippines. Have not received this evening's National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council SITREP. However, this morning's official death toll, 151. Granted, this is incredibly early. A lot of places, rescuers are just now getting out there, trying to sift through the rubble, trying to figure out what's going on. Communication's still extremely hampered. There's been values floated around. I've seen, a few hundred dead in specific cities, 1,200 as a death toll running around. Some local government officials have actually gone on the record to saying they fear as many as 10,000. So still extremely early. Bottom line, beyond those that passed away in this system, you still have an incredible amount of people that survived. 4.5 million people affected over 36 provinces. About 500,000 of those were displaced. And then, that doesn't even count the loved ones around the globe. So still a lot unfolding with this system as the recovery efforts continue on. Not going to share any videos or pictures. I do want to point you, if you click on that image there in the lower left corner, that'll take you over to James Reynolds' YouTube account. He's with Earth Uncut Productions, and he was one of a few storm chasers that were down in Tacloban City, just documenting this beast of a system as it made landfall. Some incredible video there. Really kind of begins to paint a picture of what went on there in the central Philippines. That being said, I want to shift gears, take a look at what's going on currently with Typhoon Haiyan. Again, in the South China Sea, it has begun weakening. Still a very tightly curved band, well-defined center of circulation with this, but it is continuing to weaken. Did clip Hainan, or it actually is in the process of clipping Hainan Island right now as it heads toward the Hanoi region of northern Vietnam. Matter of fact, taking a look at the 9 Zulu advisory from the Japanese Meteorological Agency. This is 4 p.m. Vietnam time. Center of the cyclone was 40 kilometers west of Huangluxin, China, which is right here in southwestern Hainan Island. This is also about 290 kilometers east of Vietnam, or 390 kilometers southeast of Hanoi, and continues to move to the northwest at 35 kilometers per hour. Central winds with this system is 115 kilometers per hour, gusting to 215, and the pressure currently 955 hectopascal. Take a look at the Dvorak Analysis. Kind of all over the place here. JMA is the strongest one, going for a current intensity of 5.0, final T of 4.5. NESDIS, on the other hand, current intensity 4.5 as well. JTWC 4.5, a little bit lighter on their final intensity, and that's just differences on how they did their convection wrap on their log 10 spiral. NESDIS came up with 1.1 in terms of the wrap. JTWC just shy of a complete wrap at 0.9. The advanced Dvorak technique, a little bit weaker, 3.9, which would yield just under typhoon strength. So still a weakening typhoon, a typhoon nonetheless. This system is not what it was when it impacted the central Philippines. However, it's still a typhoon, and a Category 1 typhoon, or the equivalent of a Category 1, is still a typhoon. It is a very impressive, powerful system. So don't just kind of blow this off now that it has substantially weakened. It's still a very powerful system. Still looking at quite a bit of storm surge in and around the Hanoi area as this makes landfall over the next day. Take a look at the satellite loop. You can see Hainan there in the South China Sea is going to continue to move northwest, making landfall in or just to the east of Hanoi there. Very strong high pressure over China. This is going to allow, there's a weakness on the backside of that. That's allowing Hainan to move, or Haiyan rather, to move northwestward. And then once it does make landfall into China, expect it to make a hard right into China, dumping heavy rainfall. It's going to slow down because of that high pressure and looking for substantial rainfall accumulations with that. Not going to go into great amount of detail, but do want to turn everybody's attention quickly to this system developing south of Palau. This right now being tracked as a tropical depression from the Japanese Joint Typhoon Warning System Center is giving it a medium risk threat anyway. This system is expected to become the next named tropical cyclone in the Western Pacific. Unfortunately, you notice where it's headed, and right now the model guidance has it moving toward Mindanao and then across the central Visayas. A little bit further south than where Haiyan went through or Yolanda went through, but it will be bringing rain showers, gusty winds through portions that were significantly impacted by this typhoon. So definitely not what they need, especially with so many homes, so many shelters that are in shambles right now. This will definitely need to be monitored as this cyclone, or this system anyway, begins to develop. Taking a look at the surface analysis, here's Haiyan beginning to make landfall there in northern Vietnam. Again, the new tropical depression just to the south of Palau. It is forecast to become a tropical storm, so we'll see that shortly. Again, here's your official Japan's. This is the official Japan forecast for Haiyan as it makes landfall. Again, on a northwesterly track, making landfall. It should be weakening though over the next 24 hours. Right now, as I mentioned, 150 knots or 150 kilometers per hour sustained. That should be weakening and should be by the next update probably downgraded to a severe tropical storm, and should be further weakening as it makes landfall. That does not preclude that. I mean, still very strong winds, still storm surge will be a factor with this system. Taking a look at the Vietnam Hydrometeorological Service forecast, at 1 a.m. early Monday morning, making landfall. Their forecast is at 83 kilometers per hour. And then once it does make landfall, affecting the the cities just east of Hanoi, there in far northeastern Vietnam, and then moving into China. This is going to be very, very big rainmaker for this area. Here's the Joint Typhoon Warning Center forecast. Again, really not a whole lot of change to the philosophy behind this system. Right now, winds are JTWC is actually on point with what JMA is saying. 150 knots or 150 kilometers per hour. Again, no change to the forecast reasoning. It's starting to sharply bend around the western periphery of the subtropical ridge. Once it makes landfall, it's going to rapidly weaken and fall apart. With that, though, heavy rainfall. This is a 2-day or a 3-day rather rain total. This takes us out till Wednesday morning. What you see here in purple, affecting all of Hainan Island or Hainan Island, northeastern Vietnam, much of southern China. This whole area, you're looking at least 50 millimeters of rain during this 3-day window. Here in orange, again, a very large swath here. You're seeing as much as 100 millimeters of rainfall. And then here along the Vietnam-China border, right along the coast, significant rainfall. Right now, the models are indicating a few hundred millimeters of rain. So flash flooding after the rain or after the system passes through, just some long-term flooding probabilities. So we're definitely going to have to continue to monitor the progress of this system, especially after it makes landfall and transitions into a huge rainmaker. Looking at some surface weather plots in and around the area, do have some very poor conditions along the western coast of Hainan Island as the system brushes along there, and then along coastal Vietnam, some showers affecting them as well. I want to take a look at a couple of locations there in Hainan Island. Sanya there in southwestern Hainan. Gusts right now to 94 kilometers per hour. Very heavy rainfall. Visibility down to 1,800 meters. Pressure starting to rebound now, 996 hectopascal. Up a little bit north along the coast there in Dongfang. It's just light rain showers right now, but still pretty breezy. 50 kilometers per hour, and you notice the pressure quite a bit lower at 982.6 hectopascal. Okay, this concludes the update for today on Haiyan. Of course, you can get this and a lot more analysis on the Vietnam impact as well as the Philippines recovery and the additional threat with this developing system to the south of Palau. You can get all this information over at westernpacificweather.com as well as on Twitter and Facebook. You can also join in on the conversations ongoing at storm2k.org. Thank you all for tuning in. Be safe out there. Have a great day and take care.